Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the SU-8. It's the Tier 6 Soviet SPG. It's located on northwest corner of Empire's border, and it's under the command of StuInTokyo. And yes, he really is in Tokyo. And he's armed with the improved rammer, improved gun laying drive, and also the rotation device. Or at least I think that's the rotation device. Game on. Well, this is quite a fun Arty to play. I do play it myself, so yes, occasionally I'll take it out just for a bit of bashing of the enemy. It's got a 152mm howitzer, which is capable of doing 550 alpha, 38mm of pin, and 6.7 meters on the burst radius. It's now become the Arty of choice for anyone who used to play the M44 and loved the speed at which that Arty fired, how much damage it would do, but of course now the M44 is but a shadow of itself, and so the SU-8 is the one of preference because it can do so much damage. Now at the moment what he's aiming for is just across the valley, because sometimes an enemy light tank or a medium will actually try to make it up to the gates and try and spot the enemy tanks that are actually, or spot our tanks as they're coming out of our cap area, on the off chance that they will tell their teammates who are on the other side where they are. And we do see that there's a T-37 on the enemy team and a 1375, and well, unfortunately we just lost one of our teammates, the AMD 178B, and the AMD, well, the AMX rather, he's actually come through the gates, but he's badly damaged by that shot there that came from Stu, and he swung himself over the edge. The T-37 has gone down. This guy, oh! Well, that's not a suicide crash, that's just a bad driving job, and he needs to get some lessons. We do have a platoon mate in this game. He's in the AMX 1357 on our team, and that's T55 Mew, or is it Mevin? Yes, I think maybe Mevin. So he's firing at that building just to try and get rid of it, so nobody can use it for spotting. Now, the enemy tanks are getting rather close, so we're actually having to pull out of here, because all we've got between us and the enemy is VK3002M, and our teammate in the GW Panther. Well, he may have gone in too far. We just lost our platoon mate as well, taken out by an SU-122-44. So, yes, our GW Panther is in such a precarious position, he may not survive, and he may not be able to get out of there. He's trying to cross the gap at the moment. In fact, he's trying to return this way. We just have to hope that we can keep the enemy off, because there they are. Tier 7 game with Tier 6 tanks in it. And you can see they're making their way forward. Rounds out. Direct hit. Oh, that was a good one. 256 hit points. And we stunned so many of them. We got loads of stun assist, because our teammates seem to fire in at exactly the right moment. We're lined up on the Skoda T25, who's decided to stay still, which is a bad decision, because he gets hit as well, and that's 270. Now the standard reload for this Arty with the 152 is normally, if I can remember correctly, it's normally around about the 22-second mark, or 21-second mark. I'm actually having to pull out my notes at the moment because I didn't get them ready before the game, but I have got them out now. That landed right alongside the chopper. Okay, we've got the notes out now, so I can actually look it up and see what the reload time is. 19.65, so I wasn't far off. Okay, he's going to fire again. Oh, he looks to one side after he fires. That's unfortunate, because we didn't get to see the shell actually hitting the target. Now that SU-122-44 is the guy who actually killed our platoon mate, the AMX 1357. So if we fire something at him and get a hit, that's kind of revenge. The only tank that's actually in on the the north route, the Skoda, we've lost sight of him, and haven't got anything watching over that area. The possibility the Sture Mill might actually spot him, but we're actually now firing down the valley at the enemy who are actually coming from that direction, and now they've spotted them. Rounds out. Yep, he gets a hit, and he stuns both of them. He's getting a fair amount of stun assist off this. 841 so far. He's got the communications expert working. The thing about the SU-8 is just to keep pumping those rounds out as fast as you possibly can. The T28 goes down to the KV-1S. The faster you can pump out those rounds and get hit after hit after hit, the more likely you're going to end up with a high score at the end of the game. T43 is hiding around the corner now. KV-1S is badly injured. That might draw the T43 round. Oh, well, he did go down to the T43, but the T43 is low on hit points. Now, so long as somebody keeps spotting him, and the problem is that nobody is spotting him at the moment, and our T3485M is engaging the enemy just around the corner, and he just died as well. So we're 2 down on the enemy. We've got nobody spotting down this road except for the Sture Mill. The SU-100 is coming back to our cap area to defend it. The T-43, well, we think that he actually made a move there, but he may be sitting behind those wrecks. So if we pull back out a bit and see if he suddenly appears, if the Sture Mill sees him. Okay, we're loaded. He could take a shot. He's holding onto his shells at the moment. This RT doesn't contain a large amount of ammunition, only 26 rounds in total. So you have to be careful you don't blow away too much of the ammunition. Now, the interesting thing there is that Nashorn is over the other side of the map, right at the enemy cap area, and he's defending it against our KB3, who's decided to try and seize their cap. Long range shot, and we splash him, but we just saw a tracer there. I think one of the enemy RTs is near the cap, and I think that might be their GW Panther. Could be. We could take out the Nashorn with the next shot if he stays where he is. Rounds out. No, he moved such a long distance that, yes, it's 3 seconds or more for a shell to reach that spot. Well, the bad news is we lost the KB3, and now we're still 2 down on the enemy. Bit unusual for somebody to say start your withdrawal. The enemy is more than likely coming towards us because we did see the Nashorn move.
Stop your advance.
Well, that's interesting. The SU-100 is saying don't go any further down this way. I guess they want us to cover their rears just in case the enemy comes from that direction. Stu's being careful. He's trying to defend, but he doesn't want to get taken out very quickly and very easily. These trees might actually protect him. They certainly will make it difficult for the enemy Arty to get a shot on him. And you can see the enemy Arty is buttering up our cap area at the moment. The cap hasn't gone off yet, so they're not here yet, but they might be. Those buildings do get in the way of the shot. You can see we've got a red line, but that's actually probably down towards the curve of the mountains. You can see, yes, the other RT is still firing into the cap area. In fact, he's firing where we were, so he probably did see the tracer, and that's one of the reasons why Stu, it's a good job he moved and relocated, because otherwise he would be receiving fire. It could also be because the enemy is seeing the fact that there is, in fact, a trees down, and trees probably indicate that somebody moved into that spot, and they're probably firing at that spot thinking somebody's still there. And the T-43's turned up, and he's a one-shot for us. So if we get this one on target, he's dead. And there he is. We've lost sight of him again because the SU-100 is too far back. And now we've got two enemy tanks. We've got the VK. He comes past that corner. He's going to know we're here from the direction of fire. The T-3043 is actually coming on. And unfortunately, we just lost the SU-100. But this is where the enemy's going to lose their T-43 because he's one shot. Lovely shot. Right on the money. The enemy's capping, but the problem is now we've got nobody to spot for us because the SU-100 got spotted and killed. Chances are that enemy VK is actually going to go into the place where the SE is actually near the cap area, near the bushes, the trees where we were located. I was thinking that he was going to go over there and spend his time over there because there was cover. And another hit and another reset. And in fact, there's a kill. And it went to the StuInTokyo. Of course, he's got a 128mm gun. The big gun. Or is he? No, actually, he's got the stock gun. Would you believe it? The 105mm. Because it looks like a Dickermax with the stock gun. Well, the good news now is we've only got the two Artys, but of course the two Artys are an AMX-13F3 and a GW Panther. The StuInTokyo wanted us to kind of fall back, but actually in this particular game, it might be better for them both to get to the enemy cap as quickly as possible because there's a possibility that the enemy Arty are on the move. Yes, someone just said the AMX is fast, might cap. And that's why they both need to get to the enemy cap as quickly as possible, force the enemy to come back. And the StuInTokyo's saying, can you push me? The SU-8's capable of doing 48 kilometers an hour. The StuInTokyo is very slow indeed. Based on the VK3001H hull. Or is it the 36? I can never remember which one it was. I know the Dickermax was based on the... I think it was the Dickermax was based on the 3001. But he's giving him a good push. One of the RTs might have stayed behind just to shotgun anybody who turns up. And we should remember the StuInTokyo really doesn't have any armor as such. Very vulnerable. And that's the 2-minute warning. So yes, both need to get in the cap in order to win this one. Or kill both of the enemy RT. That's why originally I was saying both of them need to get to the enemy cap. Because chances are... And the enemy is capping, but only one. Now he's stopped pushing him there. Now the StuInTokyo does need the freedom to move. The other thing, of course, is once we're in the cap, and we've been spotted, so one of the enemy is still around. And the good news is that means there's only one going to be capping at the other end. Now, we've got the GW, he's just fired, and we're going to shotgun him at close range with an accurate shot. Oh, well, the StuInTokyo got the kill, but that means now that the enemy's got absolutely no chance of winning, because now we go in the cap, and the StuInTokyo goes in the cap, and we're going to cap out before they do. And I think he can see that. Plus, of course, we get a chance to reset. And he'll try the same. Now he's banking on him going to that corner just like we did. So he's firing around in. Now needs to change position. Oh, he was close! He got another reset. So now he's changing position to make it very difficult. I wouldn't advise actually both going on the move, but there's no way that the enemy AMX can actually beat us to the punch on the capping. Fires one in. And that's it. They've capped out to win. And yes, the AMX cannot cap out in time. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first ace tanker for StuInTokyo in the SU-8. Yes, he's finally broken his duck, and he has an ace tanker. You can tell that because he's got the scrolls underneath. You only get that if you've done it the first time. He also managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10 in this game, and he got a Confederate because he hit the enemy more than anyone else in that game. His win rate, 5,779, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he got the highest damage in the game, but he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. Must have been just off by a tiny amount. 2,371 hit points of damage went to Stu. The second highest was the VK3001P, rather, I should say, who got 1,890 hit points of damage. And in third place, we've got the KV1S with 1,708. When it came to kills, the top scorers were the StuInTokyo. He got 3 kills. So did the T43 on the enemy team. We can see Stu got 2 kills, along with the KV1S. And on the enemy team, their T28 HTC and their SU-12244 also got 2 kills piece. When it came to base XP, Stu got that one as well. So he's got the top in 2 of the columns. 1,225 means he's the only player to get over 1,000 base in the game. The next highest score is the KV1S with 843, and in third place, the T3485M only managed 689, but he's still in third. So, yes, it just goes to show the high standard of play by Stu. He fired 21 rounds, so he still had 5 rounds left at the end of the game. Got 9 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetration, 14 splash. Damage of 2,371, of which 1,875 were at more than 300 meters, that one being the close shot that he made on the GW Panther. So, which one do we think that he actually penetrated? Well, we can have a quick look to see. And I don't think it would have been the chopper. It wasn't even the GW. That shot didn't actually hit the target, but I think he did hit, yes, the AMX 1375. And that was the guy who came out through the gates and immediately got hit with a penetrating shot, which kind of ruined his game from there on in. And yes, he was killed very shortly afterwards when he fell off the cliff. So anyway, going back to details, he got 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 151 hit points of damage assistance, 1,161 of stun assists of 13 stuns. You got 48 capture points in the cap and 38 defense points when he reset. On a free-to-play account, he actually made 88,800 credits profit, including 70,000 for a mission completion, and that's very good going. And he got 3,062 experience points out of that game as well. So, very good game by StuInTokyo. The only one thing I would have criticized is maybe once he knew that the GW had actually fired, he could have actually driven straight up to the guy, right close to him, and shotgunned him right in the neck at close range. There's no way that the shell would have failed to penetrate, and he possibly would have got a high roll, taking the guy out altogether. So it would have increased his number of kills, but either way, he's still got the business done. He got the stun assist off it as well, so the StuInTokyo just got an extra kill from that game. We do have another replay for you, so let's have a look at that one. The second replay is on the mines map, and we're on the north spawn of the encounter, and it's under Fork U2. Yes, it's one of my replays. I played it recently because while I was feeling unwell, I thought, oh, well, I'll have at least a game to liven me up, make me feel a bit better. And yes, I decided to take out the SU-8. Okay, we're loaded, ready to go. I'm in Nigel's spot, C1. And the Fireflies going much obliged. I think that may be because he wanted to platoon with me and I didn't want to platoon with him. Not on this occasion. But anyway, Skoda going in. Rouse out. Well, he's not going to be moving very fast now but I just tracked him. 217 hit points. Okay, we see the AMX 1357 zoomed over to that corner, and we're loaded again, and another hit this time, and that one took him down to 24 hit points, so somebody's going to get him, and in fact they did. It's our Tiger P who got him in the end. Somebody's in the cap circle, and I can see there's a Panzer IV F2. Rounds out on him. Yep, that's a reset. 205 hit points from splash alone. Now, that corner there, that's where you fire if you want to get the reset. The Panzer IV has decided to go into the cap, and I'm loaded. And I fire straight in, and didn't see any resets there. But I think he's very low on hit points now. There he is. So I'm going to put it in that corner. And unfortunately, the wall deflects the shell, but the F2 is now in a dangerous position because he might get killed whilst he's moving backwards and forwards there. Let's see if I can splash him. Yeah. So got my first kill. And the Panzer IV SU-8 has moved up. I was actually rather amused just recently. I don't know if you've seen, there's a rather good television program called SAS Rogue Heroes, and in one of the episodes they show Panzer IV Ausrung A or Ds. In fact, they actually mention it during the program because, of course, they had the short barrel gun, but they had extra armor on them. And because this was Italy and the particular period, the Americans were finally involved in the game. And I say finally involved, but they had Operation Torch. They had come into Italy with the British, and they did have bazookas, the M24, and they were using those to take out the Panzer IV Ausrung H's. And they actually mention them as Mark IVs in the game. And you can see they are Mark IVs for sure. 8 drive wheels, or 8 not drive wheels, 8 road wheels. And it was just a question of working out what the armor looked like. Well, I stunned that guy. I didn't give enough lead on the target to actually get a direct hit. But let's see if I can put a round into his rear. If he stays where he is, he's going to get hit. Rounds out. Yep, got him on the rear for 220, and he goes down with the next shot, so I got the stun assist, and I got my communications expert working. Now we've got this, it's a Panzer KW-1, it's one of the conversions, the one that was actually a KV-1, and that shell lands right in front of him. You know, so I'm trying to keep up my fire rate as fast as I load. I fire one in. Need to keep that active all the time. Rounds out. So yes, if you do watch SAS Rogue Heroes and you see the scene where they're in Italy, there is in fact a Panzer IV involved. In fact, there's 2 of them, and both of them get taken out by bazookas to the rear. Okay, and see the Nashorn? Just got a nice little gap there so we can bump around into that spot. I didn't get the kill, but I did get 554, which meant I got a penetration from that one, for sure. There's only 2 enemies left. They're both Arty. Everyone else has been wiped out. I fire because I know there's one behind the building there. And I move over here because I know there's one over this side as well. I saw the tracer come from this corner, so I know there is an Arty here. There they are. And the AMX-13 was the one that I was firing at behind the house. So I go for him again. I get a direct hit, and he's killed by somebody else. Yeah, the Juno got the kill on our team. So it's just the Hummel that's left. Almost loaded. Going to give it another shot. Rounds out. Unfortunately, I did get some stun assist off that one. But actually, I hit my teammate. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was another ace tanker for me in the SU-8. I managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, I only got 7 in that one. But I did get a Confederate hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on my team. My win rate was 3,539, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see I did get the highest damage as well, but it didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool. That's why I didn't get the high caliber. 2,153 hit points went to me. The second highest was the G2, managed 1,739. And the third highest in the game was the Firefly, who I didn't platoon with, and he got 1,487. So when it came to kills, we can see the top scorer was the Setter, who got 4 kills in that game. 3 kills went to the Panzer IV Aslains H, and he also picked up a Liver Slaves medal, so he was killing higher tier opponents. And the other player on who got 2 kills is the Juno. In fact, 3 kills, sorry. The Juno managed to get 3. So they're in joint second place. In third place, we've got 2 tanks on the enemy team. The VK3001D and their Hummel both managed to get 4 kills, or 2 kills each, sorry. And when it came to base XP, I only got the 1 kill, by the way. When it came to base XP, yes, it's me. I got that one. So I got the top in damage and top in base XP, just like StuInTokyo did. He got 1,000. Well, I got 1,142. The only player to get over 1,000 base. 920 went to the G2. 786 went to the Panzer IV Aslains H. I fired 17 rounds in this one, so I still had plenty of ammo left. I got 6 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot as well. Now, which one did I get the penetration on? Well, it's fairly obvious, isn't it? The Nashorn. That shell hit him right on the gun shield and went right through, and somebody else shot in just at that moment, and they got the kill. I missed out, but there you go. It sometimes happens. Anyway, 2,153 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy, kill 1, so only just qualified to get the Confederate. 1,194 hit points of stun of 10 stuns, and 8 defense points by resetting the cap. On a premium count, I actually made 89,590 credits from that game, including 55,000 for completing a mission. And I picked up 6,852 experience points after completing another mission for 3,426. So yes, still got the skill, and just keep pumping those shells out and you will get the ace tanker. I'm kind of giving away the a tip to Angelina, say, if you want to get an ace tanker to beat Talon, you're going to have to use your SU-8 or something with a very fast fire rate so you can get lots of damage very, very quickly. And maybe that will actually help you, because he seems to be very accurate with that GW Panther of his. And it's going to be a big fight for next week if they can get a contest together. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give the video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.